Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. As most of you probably know by now, we got some really good news in the SEC v. Ripple case today, and it sent the price of XRP jumping. For a span of maybe 2 to 2.5 hours, it jumped up substantially from somewhere around 43 cents to over 50 cents briefly. At the time I'm recording this, it's pulled back a little bit, and so many are wondering, what's going to happen next? Is it actually going to continue on a tear? Was that it? Was that the whole thing? Because we did get some pretty solid news, and it's not even a question of whether or not the news we got today actually causes. And look, I'm one of the first to say, the vast majority of moves that we get on XRP or pick your crypto, it has nothing to do with some sort of awesome development. People are just like, it's like they're mosh pitting, against one another, just pushing each other. And eventually enough people start doing a thing, and then more people catch wind of people doing that thing, and then more people do it, and the lemmings follow each other. Usually there's no reason for all of this, but in this particular case, it's very clear that because Judge Torres ruled today with Judge Nepper that the Hinman emails from the Ethereum Free Pass speech must be handed over. The moment that news became public, global price of XRP started soaring. It is unquestionable. So I want to talk about that, but before going any further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, at the time I'm recording this, XRP is at 47 cents. Bitcoin is at $19,409. Market cap for the asset class, $963 billion, and Bitcoin dominance, 38.61%. So for most of the last 30 days, dominance has been just where it is. Here's the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, 21 out of 100. Not seeing a lot of difference on there either. But where we are seeing a bit of difference is with XRP. And here's the 24-hour chart. You can see right about here, this afternoon. So it was around, what, I guess the news broke, it was probably about 2:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. I say Central Standard Time because that's where I live. I'm in the Midwest in the United States. And it just ramped up. And I saw it right at its peak when it was just over 50 cents. I was actually recording a video right around that time, I believe. Because what time was that? Yeah, 4:45. Yeah, it was right around that time. So what's going to be happening next here? Well, actually, before I started recording this video, I came across a thread from the blockchain backer, which he just posted, I think, when was it? Like less than 46 minutes ago. So not that long ago. And he was talking about exactly this topic. And I thought this is a perfect thing to throw in this because I know this is what everybody's wondering. And he didn't put out a video today anyway. So I wanted to run through his thoughts, and then I have a couple other analysts who had some stuff to say, opinions before the jump. And look, I'll just say this, like, regardless of what happened today, it's not going to change big picture where XRP is going. Look, it's fun. I say, look, when XRP jumps, let's have fun with it. We have enough negativity because of the SEC stuff. We got to put it with the Bitcoin maxi trolls, smelling like cottage cheese, which is their favorite meal, room temperature cottage cheese. We got to put up with a lot of stuff here. So on the moments where XRP goes up, I always say enjoy it, have fun with it. It's fine to be a normal human and get a little bit of excitement out of it here. But the biggest news is going to come when this whole damn thing's over and we get a positive ruling, whether it's full adjudication or if we get settlement, which frankly, in a way, I'd kind of prefer settlement because then there won't be appeals. If there are appeals, then this thing's going to go on for years and years and years. And even if XRP pumps from an initial positive verdict from the judge, who knows what happens in the future? I want this all behind us. But here's what the blockchain backer had to say. And here, I'll put this chart up full screen, too, for those of you looking at that. He says, as the news dropped that Judge Torres overruled the SEC's objection ordering the SEC to turn over the Hinman emails, the price of XRP rose on hopes of a settlement coming soon, with XRP being freed from the wraths of the SEC and exchanges, a potential relisting, surging 17%. So here you can see this is an XRP USD chart. He's noting right here with this arrow, that's when the excitement hit. That's when the news broke, and then the global price of XRP rocketed on up and then started to pull back a little bit. And then he says, here's another chart he shared. This is a XRP USD chart also. And he says, when optimistic news hits along with price appreciation, Many get overly eager that we are currently going to the moon. While I am all for it, as XRP is my largest holding, I'll show some concerns on the charts of where we are at. First of all, retracement levels suck. And then here's another screen grab, and he says, and this is also an XRP USD chart. While it is volatile and exciting, we did see this same level of movement last week. And it is how XRP typically appreciates, quickly. Now let's pause to note, and I've been saying that for the longest damn time. It is so clear for anybody that's been sticking around for a long time, even if you're not an analyst, and I'm not. Like XRP seems to just trade sideways more or less forever, and it's volatile to whatever degree because it's a cryptocurrency. It trades within a certain band, but eventually it just goes on a freaking tear and melts faces. And that's when the fun part is, but most of what it is to be an XRP holder is not that. Most of it is a lot of downward / sideways movement, and that's just what it is. Although, to be fair, that's kind of what most of investing typically is anyway, but it seems to be extra true with XRP. It does trade sideways longer than other cryptos historically. Anyway, a blockchain backer then says, however, we are still underneath retracement levels with a lower low for now. No breakout occurred yet. That could change, but none yet. And then here's another screen grab. This shows XRP USD on top, and then the bottom chart is Bitcoin USD price. And then he says, also, it has not revisited breakout level to check support yet. And you can see here, and I presumably this is why I included the Bitcoin chart. You can see here, it looks like it at least wicked down to this level. But I'm assuming that's, or it got close anyway. So I'm presuming that's why he was showing the Bitcoin chart right there. XRP, looking at this yellow range that he's talking about, this yellow box, for those of you looking at the screen, XRP has not gone back down to test that range, which would be like, it looks like close to the 37 to 39 cent range, something like that. And then he wrote to this. Here, I'll make this one full screen too. He says, while there can be times where assets won't come revisit their breakout levels right away. Yes, and then I think the next one is where he kind of really highlighted that. Yeah, it is right. Yeah. But he says eventually they typically do. So you can see here in the case of Bitcoin, broke out of this box here. And this is what? Call it March through maybe beginning of April, somewhere there about. Bitcoin started ramping up in 2019, and it really did seem to rocket. And then it was kind of trending down, went back up a little bit, and then it went right back down to where it broke out of in, call it March or April of 2019. And when did that happen? About a year later. Now, I do know what was going on at this point. I was here. This is March of 2020 when it went back to test that. And so that was when the pandemic was getting cray-cray. And that's when it tanked. So like stocks were down, crypto was down. It was a ridiculous low. XRP got down to like 11 cents, something like that. So I don't know for sure if it would have gone back to that level without it, although maybe it would have anyway, and it just would have been at a different time. So fine, there was like a macro factor. The pandemic was the wild card incident that caused it to get there exactly then. But who's to say it wouldn't have anyway? Maybe it actually would have. And so the point that he's making here is, regardless, and this is just one example he's providing, eventually you do come back down to test that level as support. We haven't done that with this most recent XRP breakout. So then he shares this screen grab. It's a XRP USD chart, and he says, so is it a breakout? Nope. It could become one, but it's definitely not right now, being a 0.618 retrace, still under the 200-week moving average and a lower low. And then he shared this screen grab, which is another US XRP. It's XRP USD price on the top, and then Ethereum Classic USD on the bottom here. And he wrote the following: to see an example of something like this that turns over, we can use Ethereum Classic from 2019 through 2022. Notice the quick pump before quickly turning over to revisit the Wyckoff accumulation breakout level. And he's got the arrow there you can see with Ethereum Classic. And then so you can see, what if that happens, right? And then you go back down to the level. And he then says, so exciting for sure, but we're underneath retracement levels currently, still underneath moving averages, and haven't visited the breakout level yet. So I'm still on caution for that happening. I know not what everyone wants to hear, but it's what I see. Then he shared this screen grab. It's another USD, XRP USD on the top, Bitcoin USD on the bottom. And he says, while I don't know which one will happen, I will say if we are going to revisit 37 to 39 cents at some point, and if XRP is trend changing to bullish again, I'd rather get the test of 37 to 39 cents over with now, because this type of bull run would be more relaxing. And then he wraps up by stating this with another screen grab, XRP on top, Bitcoin on the bottom. Rather than things getting carried away and always having it hanging over our heads that it could come back again. We'll see. My wants don't matter, market decides. And these are the things I see. We'll talk about it on YouTube tomorrow. So, it is interesting to see, like, as far as the retest, it can happen way later. And see, but this is also why people get shaken out of their positions. Something, they buy at a certain point and then they're holding and then feels like it's going somewhere, but then another year passes, just like, what am I doing? And you could be looking at all these other things that maybe are up a little bit higher, maybe some a lot higher, and then you're like, oh my God, this thing, I've made the poorest decision, I'm so bad at this, and then you go put your money in the thing that's already gone up way higher in terms of a multiplier effect, greater percentage gains, but then the gains are already in, and typically that thing goes back down, and that's why what I do after I purchase something, I just hold it. I do absolutely nothing. It's the most unsophisticated investment approach on the planet, and I love it. It is for me. Now, here is something that chart analyst Harry had to say at Geraldo XRP. Now, mind you, this was from this morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, so this is before the news broke that the SEC ain't having a go day, because the Judge Torres, said, nope, Judge Knepper is correct. You must hand over the Hinman emails. So even before that good news broke, and before we saw XRP have a bit of a surge over a course of a little over 2 hours, Harry had the following to say about XRP. To me, this looks like a 6-week technical level where buyers could enter the market. Looking forward to the price action here. So seems to think that there was, even without this, some reasonable possibility that there would be some news to the upside. Then there was also this from the Daily Huddle. Crypto analyst doubles down on big XRP rally despite red markets. Here's his target. Now, mind you, this was also written before the great news that we had today from Hinman. And so, yes, this analyst still insists that XRP, approaching its all-time high is still in the cards. And this is before the big news. XRP getting close to its all-time high, still in the cards, despite the most recent pullback before this news from today. And don't forget, the most recent pullback, it had nothing to do with XRP specifically. It had to do with other macro factors completely unrelated to crypto, as I've been describing in detail in recent days. But check this out. A widely followed crypto analyst says he's maintaining conviction on his bullish stance for XRP until the altcoin reaches his price target. In the latest issue of the Technical Roundup newsletter, Don Alt says that XRP broke a critical resistance at 40 cents and now has very little between where it is now and the 60-cent range. And here's a quote. The USD pair broke out from its 40-cent range high and stalled around 50 cents, larger resistance at 60 cents, but round number short-term trading, this thing has been very viable as a strategy. Donald's view is that the 40-cent breakout is significant and therefore worth holding at least until 60 cents is tagged. So let's pause to note, in terms of, if you're trying to be a trader and play on the short-term swings, that's kind of in reference to what he's talking about. He's not talking about long-term viability or anything of the sort, just what he thinks is, probable in the short term here. And then he says, given these levels are nearby and untagged, and also considering the recent green candles in the crypto majors, Donald is still holding out for another leg. Invalidation is a total loss of momentum and or a move back below the breakout levels, end quote. Now, last week, Donald said he was mostly bullish on XRP because of the optimism surrounding Ripple Labs' lawsuit with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. How about that? And don't forget, this is the second time, arguably, that we've seen a move to the upside as a result of this. Now, the last time that this happened, it wasn't as instantaneous, so I was looking at it and I thought, and I know even Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse was saying he thought that was the reason why, because there was additional good news, and it could be. It's just that it wasn't a breakout like today. It wasn't instantaneous, and we live in the age of of information, like the internet of information. It exists. It's been around for a while. And so people can learn about things instantly. And so when news is out there and it doesn't, like, price doesn't move instantly, I'm like, okay, is that really the catalyst though? But with a document that big, a legal document, I mean, you can make the argument that it really did take a while for people to absorb it and take it in, and then enough people understood that, hey, this might be a positive thing, and then that triggered other people to just behave the same, even if they hadn't done the same homework effectively. So, like, stuff like that can happen too. I mean, how many people jumped into XRP because they saw that it was moving? Because that's how humans behave. It's like, how many people just did that, but they have no idea what's happening, even with the SECV Ripple case. Like, people do that stuff all the time. This is very normal human behavior. But anyway, so the analyst mentioned a price target as high as $3 or nearly 650% above current levels. He's not the only one to have these types of expectations. But here's a quote from him at the time. In general, I would like to hold this until the SEC news gets hotter, because that's kind of the narrative it has, and that's one of the factors, in fact, in me wanting to buy this thing and me actually looking at it for so long. If they win the trial, I think it's just going to gigamoon, basically. If that goes, a lot of people will buy back in. I will sell into that pump if I get it. If Bitcoin was looking solid into $21,000, was just chilling, I would just hold this to $1, if not $2 or $3. So look, for me, I'm glad that I've been in this for a very long time. I never expected this to just, like, moon overnight. For me, it's a very long-term thing. I've been holding it for almost 5 years at this point. I'm just going to continue to hold whatever it takes. Most people don't have that type of, mental fortitude, So if I can just pat myself on my back right there for a second, I don't mind. I'm actually not the least bit impatient. I'm going to outpatient anyone else, because I don't even have, like, the slightest tinge of, oh, when's this thing going to go? I legitimately don't. I just don't care. I had the right mindset from the beginning of this is going to be a long-term thing. But, I have no problem with that. So, but the point being, this thing's going to, like, if we're right, and, even in terms of, even if you set aside long-term viability, like, when this thing settles, the jump that we had in price today for a little over 2.5 hours, whatever it was, going from 43 cents to over 50 cents, that's going to look like child's play. That's my anticipation. That's my suspicion. So happy to see this today. When the fun stuff happens, enjoy it. You deserved it. You deserve to have the fun with it. But this is going to be nothing if we're right. And so if you're already in XRP right now, my gosh, think about all the people who will be FOMOing in at $1, $2, $3, so on and so forth. Because I suspect that we're going to see an all-time high for XRP at some point in the future. I just don't know when, and if I'm wrong, fine, whatever. Then maybe it goes to zero and whatever. I'll stop talking about crypto. I don't know. I'll just go and do something else. Maybe I'll pick up, I don't know, quilting or crocheting. I don't know what the hell the difference is. But probably one of those. Maybe both. Who knows? But I really don't think that's going to happen. I really think XRP is going to be worth an absolute fortune in the future relative to where it is right now. So we just have to wait and see. We have to be patient. But that's just kind of how it works. As Warren Buffett said about the stock market, it's a mechanism for transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. So the patient people win. It's just human nature. It's the same human DNA over there in the stock market as it is here in crypto. It's just a lot more volatile, a lot more risky, but a lot greater reward. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.